Hey everybody, it's Retro Jojo back again for another video, and it's been a while. I've had a lot of things going on. I'm trying to figure out right now if my CRT TV, it's like an older television, if it's kind of on the spritz. I was going to test it out later and hopefully it'll work. It's working, but if anybody knows anything about it, let me know. I think it might be an element in it or something like that. I'm not too familiar with those kind of things, but it seems like there's like a line that goes across and it'll jolt. I don't know exactly if that's the right wording, but it does something kind of weird. So and it sucks because I've recently picked up some games that I wanted to use on said TV, and now not being able to, or feeling like, you don't want to fry it, but at the same time it's going to go out either way eventually. But it's a 15-year-old television, so they don't last forever, and they don't make them like that anymore. They don't normally last that long anymore. 3 or 4 years. I could go off about how much I like CRT TVs versus the new flat screens and smart TVs and all that. I like the old TVs better. I've watched hours and hours of Cartoon Network and things like that on it. Still work. Played hours of games for everything from Wii to N64, PS2 games, PS1 games. It's had a lot of good memories. And like I said, my PS2 has decided it wanted to stop. So now I'm currently looking at, because I believe you can play the PS3 if you have HDMI cable on like an HDTV, which I have it's not a giant one, but it's a decent sized one. I have it in my living room, and I had to move the mic real quick, make sure you guys can hear me. But it's a decent sized one, maybe I think like 32 or something like that, but it's not huge, but it's not small, and I do have a little surround, like a sound bar and a subwoofer in the living room, and so you get the sound. Maybe I'll get a different one and move that one around later, but besides that, I'm looking at now for the price and for the value to be able to play a majority of those games. To be able to play those games, I'm looking at like PS1, PS2. I'm not sure if it does with the PS1, but I know that it is with PS2. I think it's some PS1 games and PS2 games and PS3. I know someone that has one. I know a couple people that have them. I'm looking at getting a backwards compatible PS3, like where their big one, the very first one, not the second, because there was three different ones. There was the one that had PlayStation written out, like PlayStation, and then the three. That's the one I'm talking about. I actually have the other two, so then you would have all three. The second model where it's like big, but it's like black and it's got the chrome on the front with the buttons and stuff. The chrome look to it. That one of mine in particular, the disc, not the disc drive, the laser actually ended up. It was either that or spill a cup of coffee when I tripped. So I reacted and tried to drop the least most dangerous thing. Coffee would have made it completely fritz. So things like that happen. That's happened years ago. I just never got it fixed. But my slim model, the one with the sliding top, it slides like this way, and then you put the disc in, you slide it back, and then you play your game. All that it needs is update, and I have the flash drive and everything. Just haven't. I don't have a laptop right now. My laptop, unfortunately, I broke it a year or so back. So yeah, anger issues. But anyway, I'm not in that dark place anymore. So maybe there's many things that won't get broken. So anyway, but I wanted to go over some games. So that's just my little bit about me, I suppose. What's been going on? Car's fixed. Everything's working fine with it. The other car hopefully is getting fixed. So everything, as far as everything else, is going fine. Just some of these game systems and things like that, they get older, and with age they start to show their age, and the TVs and things like that. But I may have found some other ones that I might be able to pick up more than one for a good price if it's not already sold. Then it's in my local hometown, so I want it to go nowhere. Maybe I'll be able to get that. I'm not sure. It's still available, but I have my eye on it. But there were like 2 or 3 CRTs, I believe, if I'm correct. But they're not that expensive. So either way, I'll be able to pick up another one. It may be a little bit smaller than got the TrueFlat, the RCA. It was a good TV. A little bit bigger picture than most. But anyway, I wanted to go over some of the games, recent pickups, and I actually wanted to say that I started collecting. You know, everyone, if you know anything about me, if you know me personally, a friend of mine, his name's Nick. He actually got me into, excuse me, got me into Yu-Gi-Oh cards. You know, I didn't really. It wasn't a big Pokemon or Digimon. I wasn't really supposed to play it as a kid. You know, and I understand some of the reasoning, like maybe not the reasoning of like, okay, it's like the worst thing ever, but parents are just, you know, protective, and they were just looking out for me. And I understand that side, but I also understand, you know, now with the understanding that I have now of these card games and about life in general and about being founded on what you believe, you know, there are certain things that I don't mess with, and I don't mess with for different reasons, and I have my reasons, and I have my reasoning, and there's just a good amount of reasoning that you have to do as an adult, that you have to say to yourself, is this okay for me or is it not? And if you don't know, then maybe it's not the best thing in the world for you. So another friend of mine, long story short, I've played Magic, and I actually like the Magic format, and I like the fact that there are Lord of the Rings cards, which I love Lord of the Rings. There's Fallout, Evil Dead's come out with some, and you know, and then there's some more that are coming out, the Jurassic World ones, and then you have, you know, your just regular cards. And like I've said before, if you don't like it, you don't have to play it. And if you don't like certain cards, just don't buy those cards or those sets or whatever. I mean, you can pick and choose what you like and what you don't like. And you don't have to, you know, a lot of people think, oh, but then you're going to be like in an occult type of thing. No, it doesn't have anything to do with that. A lot of me and my friends and friends of friends that I may not even know yet, we get together to local places called Elite Trading Cards. I don't know if they mind me shouting them out in the video, but I've been there a couple times and played cards. And Josh, the owner, and I recently met the other two people that help him with running the store when he's not there, Scott and Tina, and they're all three amazing people, very nice people, very down to earth. So if you need trading cards, they even have baseball cards and stuff like that too. If you're not into trading cards, if you're in Douglas, check it out. It's, you know, a little bit, I wish that, like, you know, it was they had more of a street view, but he's working with what he's got, and so it is what it is. And I enjoy going there, and I think everybody else would too. So, and the reason I was mentioning it is I'm thinking of doing some, like, every time I pick up a pack of cards, we'll do a quick video about which cards that were included, whether it be Yu-Gi-Oh or MTG, Magic the Gathering. So, if you're interested in that, I'm definitely wanting to do that on this channel. And so yeah, we'll get into the recent pickups for games though. So starting it off, this was the first one I recently picked up, and this is gonna spark. It's about Wizards of the Coast, and they teamed up with looks like 2Q. I'm not familiar with that developer, but if you know Wizards of the Coast and what I was just talking about, you know that this game is it's similar to, like, you know, they do MTG is what I was getting at. They do Magic the Gathering. And this is D&D Dark Alliance, Dungeons & Dragons Dark Alliance. I played like 1 or 2 little stories in it, and you pay for each story, The only thing that I have of the gameplay is awesome, as far as I can tell so far. A little bit of pacing issues for me. It's not the worst game in the world. It's certainly not the best game in the world, but I haven't played it all the way through either. The only gripe that I have is if you look on the back, and I couldn't look at the back of it, excuse me, because I actually ordered this game. I didn't buy this game like in a store or like GameStop or something like that or whatever, and or a retro gaming store or something like that. But it's one player without network. Okay, it's 2 to 4 players with network. So you have to connect with someone else in this game in particular to be able to play 2 player. I wish it had like couch co-op because me and my wife were going to play the other night, and then oh shoot, you can't play 2 players with just sitting right next to one another, which I thought was a little. I think that sucks a little bit because that takes some of the what I like about video games out of it. But other than that, it plays very similar to other. It's a role playing game. It's not a turn based RPG. It's more of a. It has a very Lord of the Rings feel to it, which I guess D&D is supposed to have that kind of feel. Uh, kind of like Middle Earth. I mean, it's not the same thing, but I enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it so far. I plan to play some more. I can't say a whole lot about it other than that I picked it up and I definitely want to continue to play this game. So yeah, it's really fun, and it has a take a rest system. So that's kind of like how you save your progress. If you're not done, like it'll give you health or it'll give you whatever. But if you die during a like one of the like I guess you could say missions, but it's like actually parts of the different stories. If you die during that, then you start over. There's no like, as far as I can tell, there's no save points. So it's a straight shot. Once you start one, you better be ready to finish it. So in that way, I think it loses a few points, but as far as the game overall, yeah, it's a beautiful game in my opinion. I like it. Other people will say like, well, it's not. Surely it's not. Horizon Zero Dawn or The Last of Us or Red Dead 2 or GTA 5 or Black Ops 3 or even beyond that. And it may not be, but to me, I like that kind of artsy, still kind of realistic art style. Something that kind of captures that. It's a little off topic, but A Christmas Carol with Jim Carrey in it, it wasn't real well, it was real voice actors, but it's not really him, but his likeness was imposed upon the kind of animation they used. It was like in between, this is live action and this is animated, and it was in between those two. So I like that in that sense. Yeah, it was enjoyable. I enjoyed it. Enjoyed playing the game. And there's 4 different classes. You have a drow, a warrior, an elf, and a dwarf. So you can play as one of those 4 characters. You can swap them out or start a new quest with different characters. And you get armor upgrades, things like that. All kind of things that you would expect from an RPG. If you played Final Fantasy, if you played another one that I want to get for another console, or either get, like if I get the backwards compatible PS3, is Lord of the Rings Third Age, which I definitely want to do a review on. And I will review this D&D game after Dark Alliance, after I finish it completely, like the whole story, with one character or all 4. I'll probably do one character at a time and just talk about it more. I haven't played that much of it. I haven't had a lot of time to play that much of it, but I plan to put some time into it in the future. So, moving along to the next one is a game that I just started playing when the TV decided that it wanted to act up a little bit. But that's, things happen. Maybe we'll get another one. Maybe I'll play it until it just stops. But it's Bard's Tale. And I wasn't going to pick this up because I was looking at a game store in Valdosta, and I was looking at just, man, do I really want to get this game? I've heard of it. Is it really that good though? Is it fun? Is it engaging? Because that's what I want out of a game. I want it to be fun, engaging, and to keep my attention. and I fired it up for a few minutes, and it didn't disappoint. It has funny elements. There's fourth wall breaks. If you know anything about Deadpool, you'll understand what that is. You know, he breaks the fourth wall between you and him actually being in somewhere else. They do that in Bard's Tale, and I thought that was a great touch. You're basically a bard, and I haven't played a lot of it. I like the music so far. I like the gameplay. There's a funny moment right at the beginning. It's got innuendos in it. It's just it's very I guess suggestive is a good word, and it's very just it has its own way of telling a story. You know, you get to use his instrument for different like spells and things like that, but it's in a funny way. It's you know what I mean. So it's yeah, this interests me. I'm gonna finish talking about it later as well because, like I say, those are two that I haven't not. That's two that I haven't finished. Now we'll move on to I think we'll move on to this one because I have never played this, and that's Gungrave Overdose. And the only reason I picked this up for $30 was because the copies seem to be like I don't know, but I haven't seen that many around, and I haven't seen that many for this good of a price of $30. I actually seen one for more than that, so I bit the bullet. I spent a little bit of my extra, you know, Christmas money I had, and I bought it for myself. You know, sometimes you got to buy stuff for yourself as well as other people. Sometimes you got to treat yourself. Even though I can't play it on PS2 now, I know because the gentleman tested it out for me on a backwards compatible PS3, so I know I can play this one. Can't wait to play it. Played the original Gungrave, and now they've got Gungrave Gore that come out, and I believe I can download that on my Switch. I don't know if it's on PS4. It may not even be on Switch. If you know, let me know. I really want to play this one and Gungrave Gore, so I'm looking forward to that. I finished the first one though. First one was a beautiful game. It's like Japanese. It's very into that art style, and it's non-stop gun action, and it's just you know it was fun to me. I enjoyed it. If it's anything like the first one, I'll enjoy Overdose too. I've seen that you can play with another character as well. As like a guitar weapon or something. Maybe you switch between the two because it says on here that it's one player. So we shall see with this game. We'll see what it. Here's the back of it. It's got some shots. I don't know if you can read that so well, but anyway, we'll get to that as soon as we get the setup right. So now we come to one of the games that I would call a magnum opus. This is one of the games that I grew up with, playing it, watching other people play it. My cousin had it at one point, one of my cousins, and it's just a fantastic game. And I paid like $7 for it. You can't beat that for the quality that's in this title. And I recently just finished it with playing different levels with different characters, and that would be none other than Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers, the video game. A lot of people, don't like it anymore. Here's the back as well. I love the details of like artwork with this. Not a big fan of the border around it. I think it takes away a little bit from the artwork, but I understand it's a platinum hit. I mean, it went platinum. It's one of the best games of all time to me. I mean, but you play through the game, and basically you start with the battle to free Middle Earth on the slopes of Mount Doom near Mordor, and that's you play as a Isildur, and you do those events right before Fellowship of the Ring, where he gets the ring. And then you do the next mission is Weathertop, and then the next one is like, so you go through the fellowships, like key moments, I should say. Then you do the Tomb of Balin in Moria, the Mines of Moria, and then which is as we know where Gimli hails from, and then you fight the troll, and then you fight for the freedom of Frodo when they're trying to escape. Where he's trying to get to the boat away from the Uruk-hai that are sent after him. And You play through that, and then it just kind of bleeds into all the other events. I won't go into all the detail. You fight Lurtz, the Orkai leader, the one that kills Boromir, and then Aragorn. If you've not seen the movie, spoilers. And then Aragorn, like, I love that scene where he just is fighting with him, and then he cuts his arm off and impales him with his sword, and you're like, whoa. And then Lurtz actually pulls himself onto the sword, grabs the sword and pulls himself closer to Aragorn's face. And then, of course, Aragorn comes with the shah and beheads him. And then goes and checks on Boromir like nothing happened. The Orc got what he deserved. Now I'm gonna go check on my friend and my brother. So I love those movies, and I love this game. This game has, you can basically play as Aragorn, of course, Legolas, or Gimli, and you play through the game as them, and you upgrade your character. There is a way to unlock. Or each character, I should say, you upgrade them based on how good you do. Fair, good, and you fill up the experience meter by not like taking damage while you're racking up points. So if you're getting perfects all the time, you're going to rack up a ton of points versus if you were just getting a ton of fairs. Now there is one mission I racked up a lot at the end with Legolas, the Battle of Helm's Deep. There's a specific level. If you know anything about what I just said, then you'll understand why I normally pick Legolas for that said level, just because I tried it one time, the specific level in question with Gimli, and it was, oh man, it was brutal. You're supposed to protect the women and children's like door, the Battle of Helm's Deep, in the level I'm referring to, and Gimli throws axes and he throws them very slowly, and I don't know if when like you upgrade Gimli fully, if he can throw them faster at a faster rate. Maybe he can, but it drug on to me. Gimli is good for different missions. That's why I like the game so much. You can figure out which character plays the best in which mission, and then you can go back and challenge yourself and try to play the rest of them and get them up to like max level. Max everything if you want to. There's two secret levels. One you can play a secret level, which is basically just, I don't even know if it's in the movies, but it's just like a setup fight, kind of like waves of enemies from what I remember. And you can play as the three main, and then you can play that same level but with the Isildur, which, back in the day that was a big thing. You could play as the Isildur. Now you got Lord of the Rings War in the North. You got what is it? The computer one, Battle for Middle, or yeah, is that the name of Battle for Middle Earth 2? And the first one, and you've got the other game that you got. Conquest wasn't all that good. Anyway, we're getting off topic. The Shadows of Mordor, I have that also, and to compare these two to that, I understand where people or I think I have Shadow of War. Excuse me. There's two of them. Whatever the newest one was, other than the Return to Moria, the newest one after Gollum, and I have not even played Gollum. Don't know if I will. It just doesn't. I don't know. We'll see. But if you compare that newest, just amazing graphics Lord of the Rings game to this, yeah, it's not going to blow your socks off. But take it at face value for what it's worth. It's a great Lord of the Rings game. It has a great score, original to like what's in the films, and it goes from like the live action cutscenes to the game, so it transitions before each level, which I thought was really a great touch. It gives it a feel and a vibe to the game that makes it unique. They did do a little bit better, I will say, in Return of the King with there's more characters to play as, and you can play two players. This, however, unfortunately, was one player, and that's the one thing I don't like about it. I wish that you could now play as like Aragorn and Legolas, or Aragorn and Gimli, and then just have Legolas as like a third character, because they're still there in the background. So why not have, what I mean, like in most levels they're still there unless you split off from them. So why not have them do their own thing? They could have even split screened it when you split up, but that may be limitations back then. Maybe they couldn't do that yet. I'm not sure. I know they had split screen back then. I'm not saying that. I'm saying like the same area but just different paths or something. That would have been cool. But I'm not a game designer, so I don't know all there is to know about it, and They know more than I do. So, when did it come out? Just out of curiosity. 2002, 2004. So it's '02. You can't really hate on it too much. I mean, 2002, 2004 era. I mean, in between that, even if it's just a time gap, you can't get mad at it. I think it came out in '02 before the I can't remember when the movie was released now. I'm a huge fan, but I don't remember all the dates. You know, like man, I don't even remember exactly like the day and all that for Star Wars ones, other than 1977. That was, of course, you remember that. That was the first one. I think the second one was like '82 or something like that, and then the last one was like, was it '87 or '89? No, it wasn't '89. It was like '80. Anyway, um, but I remember years, just not exact dates, and that gives you a little bit of a range for that Lord of the Rings game, Two Towers. How technology has come a long way. If you like games like that, if you like retro stuff like I do, then you'll like this game. And I feel like that's one of the better of the two. And it is what it is. You like it or you don't. I love, the series, and I like the different enemy types. You have, goblins, orcs, orcai. You have different ones with shields. You have to break their shield before you can attack. Just different things like that make it, it gives it a unique feel to it. And I really thought it was a great game. And I've got one more game. If everyone can just let me grab it real quick, I'm going to actually grab it real fast. So bear with me if you can still hear me, because I want to review it in this video. I want to talk about it just briefly. Sorry about that, everyone. I forgot to set this game out, but it doesn't have the best cover art in the world. I got it for a good price, and it completes my Turok collection. Now, other than the one on PS3, I don't have that one. That will complete it completely. And that would be other than that, I think there was a mobile game or something like that. It's not, yeah, it wasn't all that great. But anyway, that would be Turok 3 Shadows of Oblivion. And I've been wanting to play this game for a long time. No, not, for a very long time. And like I said, the cover art, you can't really tell what's there. You can if you know the cover art and how iconic it is, then you know what it looks supposed to look like. It's just this one's been through it. And I seen it. I knew what it was immediately when I seen it. And I haven't finished any of the 64 ones. I plan to make a day where I can finish some of them. Other than Turok Dinosaur Hunter, I finished it, but don't tell anybody. But I used some of the invincibility or something like that to be able to speed run it, and I finished it. But it was a slug, man. It was. I can see where a lot of people got frustrated with that game back in the day. And Seeds of Evil. I played some of Seeds of Evil, was kind of doing the same thing, kind of just going through. I just wanted to get a feel for the enemies and the bosses. I didn't have a lot of time to invest, so now I'm on Shadows of Oblivion. I'm trying not to do that same thing. I really want to get a feel for the game. And of course, Rage Wars, I have a copy of that. And that's more multiplayer based. It's a lot of fun if you have 2 or 3, 4 player couch co-op. It's fun. I enjoy it with friends, family. It's fun. But the Shadows of Oblivion lost a little bit in some of the more gory stuff. I don't know if some of the gore effects will come into play later. I know that a lot of the enemies so far have had greenish blood, and I don't know if that's going to be the case for most of them throughout the game, but it does take away a little bit. I understand there's dimensions and stuff, because there's the spider humanoid creature type thing in this game in particular. There's other kind of creatures that are kind of like that. They're abominations, related to John Carpenter's The Thing, maybe a little bit. But I just love the storyline. You can play as I can't remember the wife's name, but you can play as basically Joshua's wife, or you can play as his son Joseph. And of course, my name's Joseph, so I chose Joseph to start with. And then it's Fireseed's their last name, and you got to basically carry out the Torah name. Um, but other than that, graphically, it's an N64 shooter. I'm not gonna go too much into that. If you like shooters like that, if you like the old Doom, if you like things like that, Doom 64, things like that, then you'll like this game. If you don't, then don't play this game. It's as simple as that. Um, sound design's pretty good, music's pretty good. I just have to say that the 64 will always be one of my favorite consoles. I like it for nostalgic purposes only, not just because I don't have game systems or play certain games because people tell me to. I go out and look and see what I like and find what I like, and nobody makes me play anything or do anything. If I like something, I'm gonna like it. If I don't, then I'm not going to. That's just the way that it is, and everybody should be that way. Everybody should be able to do what they want. I agree with that. To a certain, like I don't want to get into too much or beat a dead horse about it, but there's certain degrees of things that maybe you shouldn't, and that's my opinion. And everybody's entitled to their own opinion with things. There's certain games, or certain movies, or certain shows, or certain things that I could care less or care nothing, two little hoots about. But then it might mean something to somebody else, and that's fine. There's things that I care about that other people don't care about, or like, or play, or do, or what have you, or whatever, or even believe in, or I mean, you can keep going with different examples, but you get what I'm saying. So with that being said, I think I'm gonna end this off here, and I hope everyone stays safe, and may do another video or card update or something like that, either today or tomorrow, and we shall see. And until then, everyone stay safe. Have a good day.